The selection is deep.
I'm like the opposite of that.
Me too.
Talking about memory here on 9 News Now. What day is it again?
Squishy memory.
Wait.
What the heck
Are we
was
on the
that?
water?
That's not.
that's the-
okay,
It's
yeah.
the mighty Mississippi.
We knew it wasn't a live shot. The water was very still.
Yes.
Yeah, support.
And it's lighter out by now.
There's that. Hey.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
100% chance of light today. We guarantee it.
At some
Yes.
point, sometime.
For your money back.
We hope so.
Hey, did you see Perseids on the drive? The
I saw a few.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
Come
did.
on.
Yeah,
So
and
cool.
you got to be in a really dark place.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the next couple nights you get a crack at it.
The Atchafalaya Basin is a good
Don't
dark
don't
place.
stop on the bridge.
No, please
Don't stop
don't.
on the
Please
bridge.
don't. Yeah. Unless you're caught up in traffic, well, you're forced to stop
Well,
in that
there's
case.
that.
Then you can fish, you could stargaze, you can take the
You sure
telescope
could.
out,
Don't
and
do
you'd
that.
be okay. Yeah, we don't have to. We're not doing that. Although Johnny did. There he is. Johnny mentioned there was that big backup in Lake Charles.
Oh, yeah, what a
Well, I was
mess.
just double checking, approaching 10 miles.
10 miles is horrible.
miles?
I-10
Get me back
West
to
is
Lafayette.
completely
Yeah.
closed. I can't get anybody in Calcasieu Parish to let me know if it's a fatal, but it's definitely a wreck that has closed the interstate in the Lake Charles area. So if you're going to Lake Charles and you pass Iowa, and then right before you get to the 210 exit,
That's the mess.
right when it turns to
Yeah.
60 miles per hour from 70, it is stopped.
There's the
you see it.
camera.
So
when we
anyone
zoom in,
going
it gets a little
west.
shaky. Is there even another option, Johnny, or they're kind of stuck
Oh,
that
90,
way?
yeah, 90. But you got to get on 90 way back
Earlier.
Way
before
before.
that, like before the. I would
Jennings.
even go at the 160, Highway 165. Well, the Kinder exit. Get over the Kinder exit instead of going north of I-10. Go south of I-10 and hit 90,
Oh, okay.
and go that way.
That's not a great.
Yeah, I've
option.
taken 90 all the way from the state
too.
line
Me
to almost to Lafayette.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasant drive. It's 2 lanes, a lot of slower speeds, kind of like 190
Right.
between here and Opelousas. But it's a pleasant drive. You have a lot of time.
A lot of time.
It's the scenic route.
I've jumped off in Lake Charles and gone down to Cameron too before Holly Beach. That's
Right.
fun too.
Holly
Yeah.
Beach.
But yeah, this is ugly. Going to Lake Charles right now more than a 10-mile backup.
I
keep
tell
you
you
in the
what,
know.
you know your roads. You love driving all
I
around.
love driving.
Well,
I love
okay.
driving.
He knows his roads.
He does.
You think he's got a good memory? We were just talking about the memories, like the earliest memories, like what you can literally remember the earliest memories, and are they memories that you actually remember, or do you remember it because there's stories told to you?
Or photos or
Photos
home
that you
videos.
see.
Does that unlock or triggered memories? Like, oh, I
Right.
remember being at
Do you actually-
this park or Disney
or-
World. Correct.
And so my memory, man, I got a squishy brain now. It's smoother than it needs to be.
It doesn't get better.
Look, man,
Just
see what-
wait.
But I have my younger daughter in
Mm-hmm.
particular. She will sit there and talk about, and she goes, "I remember this when I was 4 or 5 years old." And these are not stories that I've told her because I don't even remember that. And she's like, "Yeah, you don't remember?" I'm like, "No,
Right.
foggy."
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like 4 years old.
But she's also closer in age to being 3
To that,
than you. Right. So
exactly. That's very
maybe
true.
as she gets older,
Well,
she
it's
may.
a computer brain, right? Our computer brain
Yes.
has, our RAM memory
Right.
is, we've got a lot more in our brain that we have to remember. We need to purge some of that.
Oh, I gotta dump some
She's
stuff.
clean. Her, if you look at her
Her
hard
RAM?
drive, it's
Yeah.
got all green. Our
I
hard
love
drive
this.
is orange.
RAM and
This is
ROM.
it's like the
Analogy.
Disney movie, the Inside Out.
Yes.
It's just like that, where they got to do like a memory dump.
Yeah.
They're looking at it like all this math and algebra. We're not going to use that right now.
Right.
Just dump it.
That's so
See?
right.
See?
But it's crazy that what will
That's
unlock
true.
something, right? So I was having a
Smells.
conversation with my parents, and I was like, "Oh, I've never gotten stitches before." And they're like, "Yes, you have. When you were 5, you were running on the sidewalk and you fell on the concrete and hit your chin." I was like,
Everybody's got stitches right there.
"Well, that's."
Everybody.
I was like, "Oh, now I remember," but I don't. I'm
Wow, you
trying to.
remember that.
Did I remember going and getting stitched up, or do I now
you
remember
blocked
that?
it out.
That's what I'm trying to. Did I really
No,
remember that?
We have samesies because I also needed stitches. I also fell on the sidewalk. I didn't take it to the chin. I took it to the lip.
Ooh.
So I needed stitches in my lip.
Do you
same thing
remember
with
that, though?
Yes, I do
Oh,
remember. But I
okay.
was, how old were you?
I was 5.
I was like 7 or 8. So I was a
Okay.
little bit older.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't fall. I was pushed. But here's the deal. Right?
Which is
it's things
Brothers
we
and
don't
sisters.
need anymore. Our brain goes, okay, we don't need that.
But I
Like,
wanna
for
keep those
instance,
memories.
When we went on that cruise in
Yes.
December, and this happens every cruise, I remember all during the cruise my room number,
Okay.
17801 or whatever. But Monday after we get off the ship on Sunday, I can't tell you what room it was.
Really?
I don't need it anymore.
You're right.
Yeah.
So
You don't
my
need it
brain
anymore.
Subconsciously dumps
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember the phone number and the address of my first house.
You don't remember?
I do.
Oh,
do
you
too.
do?
I do
too.
not, however, remember like the address of a few houses ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting.
But that's one of those, that long-term memory that was set in place way back then.
Right.
Now I got the squishy memory with the
Right.
smooth brain, and stuff don't stay in there very long.
Right.
ROM versus RAM. And so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy.
But I feel like our memory was also challenged back then, where you had to remember phone numbers, your
Oh, yeah,
parents' phone
absolutely.
number, your
Oh,
school.
yeah.
But
You
now
needed
we don't
to.
have to memorize anything.
Because
You have
all
to-
the
I mean,
numbers
it's
are
good.
right
It's
there.
good to know, though, just in case you don't have your phone.
Yes.
If you have someone else's phone, you still need to know that number. There are people that remember every day of their lives.
Those people are crazy. I
Yeah.
know, that's insane. I don't know how they do it.
I
So
don't
the
know.
guy that can remember the first name of everybody in the audience in a 200-seat audience.
That's an impressive
Just
human
read
being.
that book, yeah.
Speaking of impressive, Jared Silverman and his forecast. Impressive look. Where is that a palm tree? Where are you taking us?
Yeah. Actually, I switched the camera. It wasn't Lake Charles. This is actually closer to, Johnny, your stomping ground in East Texas. This is near Port Arthur.
Yeah, is that the Nature's River?
It's, you
Sabine
know what?
River?
Thank you so much for pronouncing that, because I didn't know how.
The
Is it
one
Natchez?
palm tree?
Nature's River.
Thank you so
Sabine
much. That's
River. Don't say
Man.
Sabine.
So I was going to say
say
Natchez.
Natchez. Natchez.
You are sharp, man. You hit it. That's exactly what we're looking at. Good job, Johnny. And the sun tucked away. That's a really nice shot, though, overlooking live, courtesy of our Sky 9 network. We're looking good over here. Maybe not feeling as great, though. It feels like the lower 80s already. Lots of humidity, kind of like yesterday. And again, like yesterday, with our high of 93, we're going to be right around that mark yet again for today. Meanwhile, there you can see the muggy meter. It's nothing good over the next several days. Pumped up to the upper 70s. We're going to be living in that range. That's near the oppressive mark. And when you dial up those numbers, most definitely you're going to dial up these numbers as well. On Saturday, pumping it up to 108. That's very close to the trigger point for a heat advisory. So we don't need a heat advisory the next few days, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had one over the weekend. Meanwhile, a couple of isolated showers fading away and not even making it to Highway 90, closing to the coast. And there you see what's left of a rain shield that looked a lot more impressive than it does now on the back side of that low, on the east side of that low between Mobile and Pensacola. Actually, that is actually weakening and not really moving in our general direction. Futurecast is picking up on it. Futurecast keeps us relatively quiet until the early part of the afternoon, but the radar never really totally fills in, so I've actually lowered it down to a 50% chance. Not a guarantee that everybody's going to get wet. Matter of fact, I would say probably even less coverage than what we saw yesterday, and even yesterday, not everybody in the Baton Rouge area got in on the action, but the models do want to keep a couple of storms around in the early evening. The HRRR did the same thing, but again, I wouldn't totally count on that. We got our update at 7 a.m. on the Atlantic. Nothing earth-shattering. The wave up top to the north took it down to 0. That's not even a thing. Now this guy over here, this is near the Yucatan, going to emerge into the Bay of Campeche, and it's got a 10 and 20% chance over the next 2 and 7 days respectively. But even if it did develop, and I don't think it will, but even if it did, it still wouldn't really influence us. It looks like it'll go towards the Texas-Mexico border right there by Brownsville. Maybe a depression, but I wouldn't even say it's going to be that. Here's a look at Tropical Storm Erin, which, by the way, has not intensified at all over the past 24 hours, but still expected to be a Cat 1 by the next day or two, and then a Cat 3. So it will be the first hurricane of the season, the first major hurricane of the season, but it is not expected to hit the United States, so that's really good news. The other reason we're going to see it intensify over the next few days, it'll finally encounter that warmer temperature there, and it usually takes 10 to 12 days just to make it across the long way across the pond. For today, 93 degrees, 50% chance, otherwise partly cloudy. Again, just bring the umbrella to be safe, but it is definitely not a guarantee. 30% early tonight, down to 75. And your outdoor weekend plans, don't get me wrong, your weekend plans are good to go. Keep them, but the heat is really going to be on, especially over the weekend. 7-Eleven, Johnny, how's it going?
Very slow traffic coming out of Denham Springs. This slow traffic here at 4H Club Road, that's the Amite River Bridge. That backs up to before Juban as you make your way west on I-12. And right here in the Baton Rouge area, it's looking a little better from the 1012 to downtown. Just a little break tapping here and there. Still have a wreck going toward Hammond. This is I-12 eastbound right past the Livingston Frost exit. Got a little bit of a backup right there. Then we can kind of widen our shot, go past Baton Rouge all the way toward Lafayette, past Jennings toward Lake Charles. When you get past Jennings and closer to the, I call it the Coshada exit, the Highway 165, there's a crash right here near the Lake Charles area, right in Lake Charles. This is where you get off the interstate, off of I-10 and go loop around and go to 210, the South Bypass. That backup is ugly this morning, over a 10-mile backup. and you may want to get off right here at that exit that you would normally take north to go to Coushatta and go all the way down Highway 90 and get back on either at 210 or right beyond that, depending on where you're headed. Again, I-10 westbound closed right before I-210 in Lake Charles. If you're heading that direction, we'll be right back.
Hey, real quick before you go, I want to let you know, following the latest from the Baton Rouge Metro Council, they always meet on Wednesdays, conversations with Baton Rouge Police Department.
Yeah, On Patrol Live is one of the conversations there. How that show is going, it's already been on the air here. And we're also talking about a number of things on their agenda, including some booting regulations for towing companies in the capital area. A lot to get to.
Also, first day of school, first week of school for some, including those out in Point Capee Parish. We were talking Wildcats and Eagles, a shared space out there. It's actually day 3 for them as they get their feet under them, so to speak.
Point Capee ready to get back at it here. And by the way, as we continue to go back to school, send us your back to school photos, 9reports.com or WAFB/9reports. We'd love to see those smiling kiddos as they head back for a brand new year.
The temperatures are climbing and so are the savings during the Honda Summer Event at Team Honda. From Accords to Pilots, HRVs to Ridgelines. Get tremendous summer savings on the Honda you've been waiting for during the Honda Summer Event at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegen Lane.